Hey everyone, we're the Board Game Weekenders. I'm Steven.
And I'm Megan, and today we're going to be reviewing Just One, a game from Repos Production.
Just One is a cooperative word party game, up to 7 players, and the active player is going to try to guess one of these words on this cards, and the other players are going to be writing them on their board to hopefully give them clues to make the correct answer. So let's see how this works. To set up the game, you're going to give each player one of these whiteboards and one of the colored dry erase markers. And then you're going to shuffle all of the cards, and you're going to deal out 13 of them to create the number of cards that you're going to use for that game. And then you're going to pick one of the random players to go first, and that player can turn their easel this way with a kind of ledge there for the card to go on next. So to start, the active player is going to get the top card. They are not going to look at it. They're going to turn it away from them and put it on their easel. They're then going to name one of the numbers 1 through 5 to pick the secret word for that round. And also, just as a reminder, if one of the players did not know the secret word, you can always pick another one if not all the players are comfortable with the word that is chosen. Now that the active player has picked one of the 5 words, each of the other players is going to grab their whiteboard and they're going to write a single word clue on their whiteboard to try to get the active player to try to guess whatever secret word that they picked. Some example invalid clues would be like if you wrote the mystery word but differently, so shirt, to guess shirt would not work. You also can't write in a foreign language, so if the word was hot and you wrote caliente for in Spanish hot, that also would not work. You can't use the word from the same family, so if the secret word was prince, you couldn't write princess. You can't invent a word, and you can't, again, just do sounds like or rhymes like. Any of those, again, typical kind of trip-ups for word games also apply to this game. It is important to note that numbers, special characters, and acronyms are all valid clues. Now, once each player has secretly written their clue, they just put it face down so that no one else can see their clue, and then once everyone has made their clue and they're ready to go, you're going to have the active player close their eyes, so the person that's going to guess the word. With the active player's eyes closed, all the other players would reveal their clues for that round. In this case, they were trying to get the active player to guess number 4, flash, which again, the active player chose what number for them to try to, again, give them clues to guess. And in this instance, if any of the, again, writings answers are matched from any of the other players, they are turned around or flipped down and not being able to be used as a clue to help the active player guess the secret word. So in this case, to get flash, the active player would only be able to see camera to help them get that answer. So in this fashion, you can see you want to write words that you think other people aren't going to write, but still helpful to get the active player to guess the secret word. For identical clues, any exact word counts as a match, any variance from the same word family, so like our example of prince and princess. And if everyone actually matches, so in this case, if all these 3 players wrote light, you actually take the card and place it back in the box, and you move to the end of that player's turn, not scoring this card. If there's at least 1 clue remaining, though, you are going to have the active player open their eyes, and they're going to try to guess their mystery word with the help of the clues that are showing. Now, the active player only gets 1 attempt or 1 guess to try to guess this word. If the active player in this instance was trying to get flash and they saw camera and thought maybe camera flash or something, somehow they miraculously got it and they guessed flash, you would take this card and you place it face up next to the deck. If, however, the active player did not guess the right answer, you take this card and the top card from the deck and put them back in the box. And finally, if the active player looks at the clues and they choose to skip, they skip their turn and you just return this 1 card to the box. As a final note, if the active player guesses a word that has the same pronunciation, you do count that as a correct guess. Next, you'll move to the end of that player's turn, so that player would turn their easel back around because they're going to be writing on this side. And then player of the left of the player who is just the active player will now turn their easel, and a new turn will begin. So they again will draw a card, they will say one of the numbers, and then the active players will know what clue to give for the next round. And that's how you play Just One. Alright, so there's an overview of the game. Now let's get to our thoughts. So let's start with the negatives, Megan. So let's get out her laundry list.
So, I mean, we'll get to my rating of this game at the end of the video, but this game definitely has a lot of positives. I do think it's a really good game, but my biggest negative, and it might not even be fair, is just that maybe just because we've played it so many times.
That's true.
I think that the words on the cards that you're trying to guess are really generic. And that might be a positive for other people, but I
think on purpose, so they're guessable, right? You know
what
I mean?
Maybe.
So,
but I just feel like every time
you're
we play,
seeing the same ones over and over.
Shoe comes up, and I'm like, I remember
That's
a couple weeks ago when I put something for shoe.
It would be nice to have an expansion pack.
Yes.
There is an expansion coming out in German, but not in English yet. So hopefully that comes soon.
There's like a huge potential here, though. You could come out. I mean, they could go real commercial with
Harry
it if
Potter
they wanted.
Words,
Disney words,
Marvel, whatever.
I mean, if you want them to go that way, but I just feel like just a variety of words would just make this game feel new.
You just need more variety after a while. It got stale for you, maybe.
Yes.
One negative for me, I guess, would be sometimes some of my parents, when we play with like some older people and that, they take a long time to think for their word, and you're just kind of like sitting there, and it's fine because it's a party game and you're hanging out and you can talk and whatever. But sometimes it's like, just pick a word, like you're just writing one word.
Just write one word down. Literally just one.
It's like surprisingly sometimes the AP that comes from that and the analysis paralysis where you might take a long time on your turn for a game that's simple.
But that's also a positive though, because I mean, one of the biggest parts of this game is how you match up in the race. So people get very
you're out thinking yourself.
Where they're like, I might put a complicated word, or I might even put a really simple word. You have to kind of think of which way you're going to go. Yeah. But that does sometimes mean that some people are going to take a long time to think about their word.
Another negative, this is one of the original versions of the game. Now there's a new version at Target, but they fixed the card backs. Like you can kind of see the words through it, but if you get the version from Target, you don't have to worry about that. But that is something I want to point
we definitely had to start kind of
try
like
to get that
putting
version.
our hands behind it and showing it.
So I might actually pick up that new version just for that sake.
Right.
So.
Right. All right, so let's get to the positives of this game. It's so simple for people to learn, which makes it a great game for families.
It's the simplest party game to teach.
Yeah.
Write one word down. Try to help us get the words. Don't match. That's it. Yeah, that's
and the title
that's the biggest strength.
When people are like, "What can I write? Can I write a phrase?" And you'd be like, "Just one word, just one." And then also these easels are actually really cool.
Yeah. And it's a cheap price point too. Yeah. Like at Target, it's like $20. Yeah. Like it's cheap, but you get these nice whiteboards.
And the colors
markers
of the
are
markers.
good.
I mean, that's a small thing, but it is kind of fun. People are like, "Ooh, I want to be purple."
Yeah.
And they write well. I mean, they've held up. We've had this game for how long?
They do.
And they're still going. I mean, some dry erase markers dry out in like a day.
And we played this a ton.
Yeah, a lot.
The other thing is it's nice with large groups. At a party, again, you want quick, easy to teach games.
Yeah, we actually have 2 copies so that we can play with
so you can play with more people.
So we have more easels and markers.
It's always fun when people match and they go, "Oh, I didn't think you were going to write that." And it's like that kind of emotion. And then they have to guess the word with like only one word. Like
the
those
best
moments
is, though,
are fun.
I guess, when like somebody is trying to guess and everyone's just staring at them and everybody who knows the word thinks it's very obvious. And they're just like,
until it's you on the hot seat.
Yeah, and then you're just like, I don't know.
So it's just, this game provides a lot of those good moments of a party game. And it's not so serious that you can just chat and have conversations and just do whatever.
Or if somebody needs to get up and get a snack or go to the bathroom or something, it's super easy to pause. And the scoring's easy. Nobody really has to. Only one person has to really pay attention to.
Yeah, you're right. Just keep track of the 13 cards, how many got right or wrong, which isn't really the focus.
Yeah,
it's
realistically,
more just
you don't need to keep score.
Yeah, we always just play where we just see how many we can get in a row.
Right.
That's
and honestly, we play so often that we have like a running total going, and we just get really excited if we can beat our last score.
Yeah.
Another positive that I wanted to mention was that, people, it's very fluid. Like, if you're at a party or, like, a family get-together, if somebody wants to stop playing or they have to go do something, they can. Or if a new person arrives, they can just jump in. It's super easy to teach.
That's a very good point.
It doesn't matter who's playing. You just need an amount of people.
Yeah. One more positive I do want to talk about, too, is it's great that, like, this is a game that you can play with, like, people who enjoy, like, heavier, like, party games, like, code names and things that are more thinky, but you can still play it with, like, mom and dad and grandma, the kids, you know what I mean? So I think that's a strength of it, because I still have just as much fun playing it, and they, like, love it, too. Also, this is a game where, like, people have asked to play this game, and like family members don't ever do that, but they like remember this one, and I've had some people that have like bought it after they played it, so like it's rare that happens, and it's nice. Great because it's cheap that they can do that. Yeah, and
it's nice, like it's available, it's cheap, so we don't feel bad telling people, oh, well, you have to go on Amazon and it's here and it's only sometimes available. It's just always at Target.
Yeah, you're right.
Just send Uncle Joe if he wants to buy it. Go to Target.
It's good that's available in those kinds of stores where people could stumble upon it.
All right, so now on to our final thoughts of this game. I'm not a huge party game person. They just don't
That's
tend
fair.
to be my favorite games.
That's fair.
But I do acknowledge that they have a role to play, and we play them a lot with our game group and family members. So I have to give this a 6.5 just because it's not my favorite game. Every time it gets pulled out to play, I'm happy to play it, but it's never something that I'm like, oh my god, I want to play that game. But I do acknowledge it is a very good party game, and we have definitely had a lot of fun with both game friends, family members, non-gamers with this game.
Yeah, for me, this one, I love party games. I like to play families a lot, and I just like to give people a good time. Yeah. This one's a 9 for me. Like this, if you don't have this as a party game, I think you should go get it because it's cheap. So even if it doesn't work out for you, you can always give it to somebody, or it's not a huge investment.
Makes a great gift.
It's so easy to teach. That's the biggest thing for me. And it's just a good time, and it's just fun to try to get however many cards you can get in a row. And it's always, you remember when it's you're on the hot seat and you've got 11 in a row correct, and it's I don't want to mess up, and it's just, there's a lot of tension there. So that is just one reason. And I love that you can be clever with the clues. People who really think about it can give a really good clue, for a specific person in certain situations, and those are kind of the fun moments for me in this game. So those are our scores. Megan, what do you have? 6.5, right?
6.5.
And I have a 9. So clear delineation there. So I guess if you like her taste more, maybe listen to her on this one. But until next time, thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see ya.